Hey guys, this is Trevor Probant. This is the 4th of August, 2026. Been under the weather past few days. Was going to come on here and kind of talk about something that we're working on a bunch of these projects recently, kind of a mix and match, what we're doing and why we want to do it. And really what it is it's a simple subdivide, but it's going through the process of the entitlements slash platting, right? And so, let's say you find a property that's got a bunch of road frontage, but it's not your, 50-acre tract. They're going to turn it into 10 acres with a new survey, right? Everybody wants to do that. Everybody's doing that, you know. So what? What we're working on now, and what most people don't want to do, is they don't want to take what they would call a development risk and go through the platting process on a tract. So an example is a 10.5 acre tract with all road frontage on it, right? It's got water at the road. It's got a county road. You got, you know, uh, strong demand in the area, but you're going to buy it for, let's say, $50,000 an acre or $30,000 an acre, but your 1 acre tracts are selling for 70 to 80,000 bucks an acre, right? So it's a pretty common deal, especially in Texas. Find a 10-acre tract or 15-acre tract that's got road frontage on it. Again, the three pillars: access, water, power, right? So we've got four of them going right now. Access is there, county road, hardtop county road. Next, does it have water? It's got great groundwater, or that one of them that we're working on already has public water at the road, and then power, right? All of these already have power in place along the frontage. So, an opportunity that a lot of people don't look at is to come in and, instead of going and buying 200 acres and turn them into 10s or 20s or 30s or 40s, what if you go in and buy 10 acres and turn them into 1 acre tracts or 1.5 acre tracts, right? A lot of that will depend on what you've got in your area, rules, regs, things like that. At least in the state of Texas, you're going to put a septic on it and a water well. It needs to be 1.5 acres. If you're going to do a septic, but it has water, you can do, well, depending on where you're at, you can either do 1 acre lots, or potentially even half-acre lots, depending on where you're at. But most of the time, it's going to be 1 acre lots. So um, that is something that I don't think is done very, very, very often, and a lot of people overlook that. Again, we still always want to play by the rule, at least doubling the value of it, if hopefully not more. Um, Obviously, it's harder to do that in certain areas than others, but let's just say you got something that's close to a municipality. Maybe it's out of Nashville or wherever that may be. It's got good road frontage on it. It's a 10-acre tract. You're going to cut it. You're going to cut it into 2 acre tracts, right? And you're going to pay a nice price for it. It's not cheap, right? But your good comps, your appraisals, things like this, say, you're going to take 10 acres, you're going to cut them into, let's just say, 2 acre tracts, right? Not even 1 acre tracts. Let's cut them into 2 acre tracts. You're going to buy that full 10 acres for 300 grand, right? 2 acre tracts are doing what? They're going for 60 grand an acre, right? So now you got a 2 acre tract that's going for 120. It's pretty darn common, to be honest with you. So now you go from a $300,000 to $120,000 deal. So now you've gone to $60,000 per acre, right? That's just the math of the math, right? Is to be able to come in, more people can afford that, more people want that. You don't get crazy with all your rules and regulations, but what you do have to do is you do have to get engineering done. You have to get a new survey done. It has to go through the platting process in the county. That's just all there is to it, right? But instead of having to work with certain, when it comes to building roads, meaning county expect for those roads, things like that, you already have your access along the public driveways, right? County road, farm to market road, state highway, things like this. Obviously, you want to stay with the county road if at all possible. It's cheaper, it's easier, everything is better. So that is something, and it may take you 60 days, 90 days, 120 days. But if you've got a good engineer slash surveying team on your side, that is where you can add a ton of value, and more importantly, you're not spending much on capex, right? So use an example here. It's easy example. It's $250,000. It's 6 acres along the county road. Along that county road, they all have this good access. It's got power along the road there. You will have to drill wells. They're 200 feet deep, but they get 40, 50, 60 gallons per minute. This is towards the eastern part of Texas. Because it has going to be on septic and a water well, it has to be 1.5 acres. So you're going to get 4 tracts of that 6 acres, right? 6.5 acres. The new price for that is about double. Little under, just being super conservative with underwriting, you're going to be at about 550 to 600, right? The big deal with this one, there's a mobile right down the road, even though right across the road is a giant ranch with a giant house. I'm not going to put restrictions on it that's going to say no mobiles. It can be brand new mobiles, but that's just the way it is, right? So this is an example also where the landowner is selling to me on owner financing with 15% down, 4% interest, right, for a year. So I'm not having to pay full money out of pocket. I'm going to pay about $40,000 out of the pocket. It's going to cost me about another $18,000 to $20,000 to get entrances, engineering, all that stuff done, right? So I'm out of pocket $65,000 to $70,000, right? Hopefully, plan to net $200,000 to $220,000 after fees, blah 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 blah, right? Could it be a better deal? Absolutely. It's not terrible. It's not a home run, but it's not a bad deal either, right? And we're getting the way that we're underwriting it is we're putting it at a very low price in order to speed up that process, right? We want to try to get that deal done before a year is in place. So, that right there is a great opportunity to mix owner financing in with smaller tracks that you don't have to go through any kind of craziness, but you're still going to have to do more than most will do. Okay. Because of having a good engineer / surveying team on your side, you're going to add a ton of value, have a ton of different buyers, right? Because not everybody's going to come in and want a 20, 40, 10, 20, 40, 60, 110 acre tract, right? This allows them to turn that into their primary residence, and a lot of times they can get a much better interest rate when it comes to their lending side. So, just something that we've been working on a bunch on here lately. Pretty good. Like I said, doubling the money on most of them. Nothing fancy, sexy one way or other, but that's just kind of what we got going right now. Don't be afraid to try to ask to cut some tracks out of smaller tracks out of larger tracks that have been on the market for a long time. We're having pretty good success here lately. Say you got a 50 acre tract, but you want to cut out 10 that has road frontage on it. You may have to pay a little more per acre, but a lot of people are willing to do that as long as they get some money in their pocket. So something to look at, something to think about. If you haven't been thinking that way, a little more money in engineering, a little more time, but not the full on, 4, 5, 6 months when it comes to, building roads and doing things like that. Allows you to come in, get the thing bought, and go from there. So just an idea. Think about it. See what you think. We'll move on. It's a clean little deal. Add a bunch of value. Find another one, right? It doesn't allow you or doesn't cause you to put all your money or eggs in one basket. Allows you to diversify throughout different regions, different projects. So anyway, just an idea. Hope it goes good, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.